So, yeah, week 2, navigating the internet. Today's class specifically for mobile devices. We have our difference of pronunciation sometimes. Um, it's a lot of the same topics as yesterday if you were here yesterday, but the discussion is geared towards smartphone and tablet. So there's some different information. I'm sorry if anyone will be bored to tears by hearing some things twice. When you first activate your phone or your tablet, you encounter what's called the lock screen. And that's where you put in your access code. Phones, you kind of hold your finger down and trace the numbers out and it makes a little pattern. Android, you just plug them in there. But yeah, you have to go through your lock screen first, usually, to get to the actual content on your phone, which is kind of a good thing because you don't want just anybody to be able to pick up your phone and start using it, right? And then after you go through that lock screen, you get to your home screen. And if you've used a smartphone or a tablet at all, you know it's a little bit different than your standard laptop and computer, although many of those devices are beginning to have touch screens as well. But it works by swiping it, as you know. And so that's how you get from one screen to the next. You run your finger just across the surface of the screen there, and that takes you to more content. Some people like to have a lot of quick access links on their home screen. I like mine to I just have the weather on my very home screen. I have to swipe in one more time to get to my apps just because I like to that's just how I like it. Obviously anyone can set up their device however they choose. And then through settings, of course, is how you can change the appearance of your home screen. You can put on a stock image. There's lots of free themes that are available. I'm sorry?
That's them right there? How about right here?
Is that an internal conversation or did you have a question for me?
Right here, right there.
Sounds like they're just talking, so I'll continue. You can use a personal photograph of your dog or your grandkids or whatever you want. So you can set that all up through settings. We talked a little bit about this question browser or app yesterday, and this is where on the phone or the tablet where there really is a difference between the way that you're accessing content on the internet. Carolyn, I don't know if you could please mute.
Yeah, Mel, did you have a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I hit my finger.
No worries.
Oopsies. So again, the browser is the platform that one uses to access the internet, generally on a computer. And those that would be your Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Chrome, Safari are kind of the main ones that people use. On your phone or tablet, you have different apps, and you can have the Chrome app, you can have the Safari app, you can have the Google app. So I don't have to go on to www. whatever the website is, right, to access a different site. I usually, on my phone or my tablet, you just have an app specific to a website or some other service that you're trying to utilize. And what you'll find when you are sort of doing one thing on your computer and another thing on your phone, you'll find that when you're trying to go to the same place, it doesn't always look the same, and you might not always have all of the same functions. For example, if I open the Gmail app on my Galaxy phone and I check my email and see something that I want to save, I can put it into an existing folder that I already have created, but I can't create a folder on the Gmail app on my phone. There's just some things that there's limited functions. And if you think about it, it makes sense. You know, your phone is literally just physically smaller than the computer. It just doesn't have the same level of functionality. They've become extremely advanced, obviously, as we all know, and they do a lot of things, but they can't quite do everything. You may find that a computer can do. You may find sometimes when you go to a certain website on your phone, it looks strange. The font is too small and the sizing of the layout of the screen looks odd. And there's just some people haven't quite gotten their website to mesh with being navigated by a phone. And that's one of the reasons why apps were developed, because that interface just is not seamless going from the phone to access internet content all the time. So that's kind of that's the difference. And apps kind of have become like the main game, right? And the way that people think about accessing. And so that it's become more and more of a thing that you do put onto your laptop or whatever. It's just the way people kind of think of accessing content a lot of times at this point. But there is that difference between the phone and the computer. And when I'm saying phone, I'm silently saying tablet, because tablets and smartphones work very, very similarly in that way. Any questions? I hope I was explaining that in a way that was understandable. Okay. You will go to a specific store to get the apps that you're looking for. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, you're going to the Apple Store. If you have an Android device, you're going to the Google Play Store. And Microsoft tablets, you're going to find your apps at the Windows Store. Microsoft does make some phones too, but they're being made to interface the same way an Android is, and getting apps through Google Play. So you can download apps using Wi-Fi or data. You can set in your settings to only have apps download when you're on Wi-Fi. We've talked about this previously. More and more plans that people have for their service have unlimited data, but it does certainly cost more. And if you have a set amount of monthly data, you may want to consider putting that setting on for Wi-Fi download, just so you don't run it over. Some things to consider when you're looking at apps. There's generally ratings. When you go into the store, it'll have a little, we see it at a lot of different places, 4 or 5 stars as the high mark. And you can see, and then people will leave comments, and there may be a specific thing that you're looking for in an app, and you'll find out straight away from the comments. Several people will say, oh, it doesn't do this, or oh, it does that. And then you'll know, oh, that's an app for me, or maybe I'll pass on this one. So reading the reviews can certainly be helpful. Check and see if it's free, and if there are in-app purchases. A lot of ones will be listed as having in-app purchases, and those, it varies by the app. Sometimes they're inconsequential and won't affect anything that you're trying to do. Sometimes you really won't be able to have the full function of the app without paying for something. Some apps will give you a free trial period, but you'll usually have to put in your credit card information to access it at all, and you'll have to remember to cancel it if you were never intending to use it during the paid time. So you'll want to keep track of all that if you do end up signing up for something. I have certainly downloaded an app to check it out and then said, you know what, I'm good. And I uninstalled it and I took it off. We were talking at the beginning of this session to a particular person's question, but when you are looking at the screen and looking at the app icons on your phone, if you want to uninstall, rather than just tapping it the way that you would to open it, you just hold your finger down on that icon, and then it should give you a little taskbar will pop up, and it'll ask, it'll give you some options of things to do. And one of those things would be uninstall. So you just then tap on uninstall and the app's gone. We did talk about this yesterday. I think it always bears repeating. Do not download apps from a random website that you visited that's hawking an app. Always go through your appropriate store for your device to look for your app. Those stores have vetted the apps that they're selling, and Apple, Windows, and Google are reputable sites that have thoroughly checked to make sure that this is a good app that doesn't contain mal or spyware. So always go through your store to download your app. This is our task for today, actually downloading an app. I have the directions here for Apple, and then on the next slide for Android. I'm going to skip over it now. We'll come back to it as an activity after we go through the rest. Some people may already know how to do this, and if you want to just dip out rather than sit through, I want to give that option. So you're still using a search engine, generally speaking, to search the internet on your phone, even though it's an app, right? So on my phone, I have all of my Google products in one folder on my app screen. So when I open up my Google folder, I have a Chrome app and I have a Google app. I usually use Google as my search engine. So I could open Chrome on my phone and go to a website that way. And it will, because of the functionality of Chrome can be used as a search engine, but most of the sites don't have that same functionality of being both a browser and a search engine.
I have a question.
Please.
Okay. I mainly use my tablet for everything now. I hardly ever use my laptop, and I used to use DuckDuckGo. So, I guess I have Safari as my search engine. If I want to use DuckDuckGo on my tablet, how do I do that?
So just Safari is your browser, just for terminology's sake, just one thing. DuckDuckGo, I would assume, has an app, and you look in your Apple store and see if there's a DuckDuckGo app. And then you would apply it, download it onto your device.
Okay, so I do it by app.
You do it by app.
You have to have, if you want to use a different browser, you have to have an app for it.
That's right. You'll
Okay.
download the app. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, just DuckDuckGo is a search engine. Safari is the browser. They're a little bit. Safari is the way to take you to an internet website. Does that make sense?
I guess I'm a little confused about it. Safari is a browser, and that's that is what's automatically on it. And DuckDuckGo is
a search engine. So DuckDuckGo, you put questions in, or, I don't know the Community Partnership on Aging website, so I just type in Community Partnership on Aging to find it. They work similarly to a point, but they're two different things.
okay.
Ms. Rothman?
Yeah, so I'm glad we're talking about this because, I also have the iPhone. I'm just used to Googling, again, because of my Chromebook, which is the default browser. So I'm always like looking at Google News several times a day, but you're right. I usually have a couple more steps, I think, to open that up because the Google must be an app on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because usually quite often I'll have to hit Google and then within all those little, their little menu or whatever you call it, then I usually have to click on news.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if that's what Annette's saying. That maybe it's similar to what she's kind of puzzling out also.
Yeah. They're individual apps that you put on, and I don't want to get too caught up in semantics.
Right. Okay.
It works similarly. Ms. Sustin, I see your hand up. Oh, you're muted, love. Ms. Sustin, I'm not sure if you're talking. You're muted.
Okay,
There we
sorry
go.
about that.
Okay.
I got my kids and a dog here, so I muted it to keep it quiet.
Yeah, thank you. Go right ahead.
Anyhow, how do you get the default? I have Safari, and when I hit it and I hit Google, it takes me to a Yahoo search, and I don't like it. Do you? Is it because my computer's older? And yet, when I hit Google, it still sometimes will bring up Google searching.
Tell me what device you're talking about using. I'm sorry.
I have Apple products, so I have the desktop, the iPad. I don't do much on my phone.
Okay.
But when I am on my computer, I hit Google, and then let's say I type in whatever it is I'm typing, let's say Apple products, it takes me to the Yahoo search engine, not the Google one. How do I get it to do that?
That's annoying.
Yes.
So
There's mostly ads. They don't take me to where I want to go. They take me to similar things.
Yeah. On your tablet, you can download Google for iOS.
Okay.
So that's an app that you can download onto your tablet.
Okay, so use it as an app rather than a search in a browser is what you're saying.
Exactly. On your tablet. Now on your computer, something that I mentioned this last week, something that have been reading about, the ubiquity of Google on all devices, right? And we try to use it, but the browser that's made for your device is the browser that works best on your device.
Would be Safari.
So that would be Safari.
And I've been pretty much happy with it until recently.
And I wonder if there's something with that like your Apple device wants you to use Safari. So, but when you on your computer, if you open Safari and then go to Google, like type in www.google.com.
That's what I do. Yeah.
I don't understand why it's taken you to Yahoo. That's
okay. Yeah, I don't either.
But on your tablet, you should be able to download the Google for iOS app.
Okay, I don't know if it works. I usually use the desktop for searching and more stuff than I do the iPad, because I'm not real familiar with the iPad stuff yet. even I've had it. But okay, that's a good idea. I didn't know you could download. Everything's an app these days, it seems like, huh?
That's, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome, Mr. Reiser. Gonna go back into sharing the slide presentation. So just some terminology again. The search results that you get when you put in your query on the search engine of your choice, many of us are using Google, as we've discussed, those are called hits, the responses that you get in return. And there are paid for hits at the top of your search that are ads, and it'll say right on there, ad next to it. Just to that is part of how Google makes money, is people pay to come to the top of the search when you look for information. So just something to be aware of. If you scroll down a few searches, I think it's usually about 3 or so. The top 3 will be ads, and they're clearly marked, like I said. So if you go down past that, then you'll start to get the non-paid for information. The way that search results come back, hits come back when you do a search, is that the most clicked on places go higher up in the search results. So it's a reciprocal action, right? With the ad, because the company pays to have their ad at the top of the search, and then people see that, and so they click on that first. So then that company has the highest amount of clicks, right? So I was mentioning yesterday, your local librarian is an expert at finding good quality information on the internet. So if you're not getting what you're looking for when you're searching online, your local librarian is a tremendous resource. But there is definitely results will vary depending on what you put in. So if you rephrase if you're not getting what you're looking for when you're searching for something, try phrasing your question a different way. Also, if you're looking for a very specific thing, if you put it in quotation marks, that exact sequence of words is what will come up on your search results or hits. Just a little tip. Be advised that everything that you look up is stored in your history. You can delete your history from your device, and so it won't show up on your device, but it's still on the server from your search engine. FYI. Nothing ever truly goes away on the internet. Just keeping that in mind. You can delete your history by going through settings. Something that I wanted to kind of point out, it's another variance on the phone. Where settings is located can vary by the app that you're using, which is why you want to remember those symbols. We're coming to that in an upcoming slide, so I'll hold on to that thought. But I wanted to mention these 2 things, the Wayback Machine as well as scrubbing. So we know that we may put a comment somewhere and we think twice about what we wrote. And so we go back and we either edit it or we remove it entirely. And so that will take it from the visible search result of someone being able to read whatever we've posted. But there is this thing called the Wayback Machine, where people can search and find even things that have been removed from the internet. So just a note to self that even if you delete comments that you've made, they're still there's still a traceable history somewhere. You know, usually this kind of thing is used on politicians or famous people to, you know, catch them out on something. But just word to the wise, just be careful about what you decide to post online. Scrubbing is something else that happens online, and it definitely costs money to do, but you can hire agencies or lawyers. Somebody may have something undesirable that's come up about their history, and you can pay someone, and it's not cheap, but you can pay someone to do what's called scrubbing, and actively work to remove that content from the internet. It sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because I'm saying that nothing ever truly goes away, but they can hide it. So I'm mentioning it, that it's something that sometimes people will do to try to remove a trail, if you will, of something that they don't want to have out there. We talked about this yesterday, but you can also activate a private browser on your phone or tablet. Speaking of going through just Google Chrome, in that upper right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see the overflow menu, these 3 dots. And that will, when you click on that, it'll open a little box that will give you some options. That's your settings. And you can go there to clear cookies, data, and search history, again, on the device that you're using. This is a little, if your devices are synced with Google, that search history will actually come out of your Google search. So like, Google can sync across devices, so that search history can be removed from more than one, the appearance on your device. But at the actual like Google server end of it, that search history is still there, if that makes sense. And that's that last point, that your activity can still be traced back to you. Just FYI.
I have a question. So what does it matter if you delete all that? Does it matter if you delete the history or cookies, if it's in there anyways?
If someone, friend or family member, was also looking at your device, then they would not be able to, if you had deleted the search history, then that friend or family member wouldn't be able to see that search history that you've deleted. But if the FBI was taking all of your computer stuff because you were suspected of blah, 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 they could find what your search history was. So that's the difference. Ms. Janetta.
I have, I'm interested in the incognito because of kids. So I'm just curious if you know, the young ones are aware of this incognito part. Is there any way we're going to be able to, if they use incognito, is there any way we're going to be able to check behind them to see what they're doing? So there's no way.
If they're using the incognito browser, you're not going to be able to check and see where they went.
Anyway, okay.
Now, how that meshes with parental controls, I don't specifically know the answer to that question. Certainly something that we can look into. I would think there's got to be still parental controls on a specific device that would extend through incognito.
Incognito, okay. That's something I'll have to look into. I was just curious.
You wouldn't be able to see what they've done, but I'm 99% certain right now, but I'm going to look into that there'll be certain things that they won't be able to access if you have parental controls on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was just wondering, they're pretty computer savvy, so
Right.
it's hard to keep up with them.
I'm gonna look into that and I will report back. Incognito. Okay. Any other questions in this moment? I wanted to take us through that process of downloading an app. That's kind of our activity for today. And I have instructions for Apple products and for Android. So if anyone feels like they've got that and they are, have other things to do today, I don't want to hold you up. But if you'd like to walk through that together, that's sort of the next thing. Art. You're muted, sir.
Yeah, I just want to say goodbye, actually. I've got a million apps I've downloaded from the App Store, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Before you go, I just am remembering, I want to remind everyone, we do have our advanced
Yes.
once a month class today. Carolyn is leading a tutorial on Canva. I'm personally very much looking forward to that. So if you are interested and you aren't registered, you can do that the same way that you registered for this course through the Community Partnership on Aging
Yeah.
website.
I'm planning on logging in for that.
Great. All right. Well,
Yeah, so thank you.
okay. You're welcome. Take care.
What is
Rebecca-
Canva?
Canva is a graphic design app that you can do a lot of different things. Carolyn obviously is going to give us the full rundown. So something that has kind of one application that I know of a way to use it, you can make flyers and different sort of graphic design things for posters or something that you want to put on your website, etc. But my personal interest, I have an Instagram account and I do sort of amateur nature photography on there. And Instagram was kind of created, we're going to talk about this in a later session, to be posting for photos or videos. But as time has gone by, people also want to do print postings on Instagram. And the post on Instagram is kind of comes up, it's just like a small square, that's sort of square shape, on your screen. It was built specifically to work on a phone. It was designed to run on a phone. So the layout is a little bit different than say like on Facebook where you have space to write a paragraph, write as much as you want to write. On Instagram, it's just a little square and it's an image. And there's really not a function to type something in as your main post. You can put a comment on the bottom of your post. Canva and other graphic design apps like it give you an opportunity to make something that you can post onto Instagram like a picture, but it'll actually just be written word, maybe with some graphic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a way that you can have wording in that regard and then also make like flyers and so forth. You can alter an image with some text. You might want to put like a little comment by a funny picture that you have and send to your family. There's lots of different ways that, or a date, maybe a celebration of someone's life by putting dates on it. There's lots of different, reasons why you might.
Can we into that?
That.
Rebecca,
Please.
this is Al. I have to leave, but I wanted to remind you, I did not get that link to get rid of that Cortana pop-up.
Did you check your email from the
Yeah,
email?
I've checked it. Yes, I just checked it a few minutes ago. I still don't have it. So I just kind of,
Okay, I sent that yesterday. I will look into that after we get off of here.
Okay, I figured it was something just went goofy. Thank you. I'm going to be at that meeting at 4 o'clock, but I've got some things I gotta finish up before then. So I'm gonna leave. Sharon will still be here. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
You want
Mr. Reiser, I think you were trying to say goodbye. Please don't stay if you feel like you need to go. Any other question in this moment?
Yes, if, I'm not sure if we've signed up for that 4 o'clock class. Oh, we are? Oh, okay.
Okay,
All right, we're there. We'll be there.
great.
I'm here now.
I'm gonna go back to screen sharing. The first instruction that we're gonna run through for downloading the app is on Apple products. It's very straightforward. Let me just scroll back up here. So in the example that I'm using here, and let me just bring this up a little bit larger. I'm having you install Google Chrome, since that's what we're using for our sessions. But your first step is to go to the Apple Store, and you can, those icons that I have there, you know, as time goes by, the icon will change. So for different, you know, sites or apps. So these are two that you might see on your device. Click there. And then at the top of the screen, there should be a search bar where you can type things in, and you probably will see there's like the little blinking cursor already there. And you would just type in Google Chrome. And then I've included the picture of what the app icon looks like. Go ahead and select it from it'll populate with various different things. You just click on it and accept it. And then it's going to give you it's going to ask you, there'll be a little toggle that says install. You'll click on that. And then that takes a moment. It's got to load up. And then once it's finished loading in, it'll ask you again to open it. And then once you do that, clicking on open, it'll then populate onto your actual device, and you'll see this little picture, this little icon on the screen of your tablet, your iPad, or your iPhone. Does anybody have a question about that process on the Apple device?
I'm not seeing the search line when I go into the App Store.
Let me escape here and come back. I'm sorry, who said that?
Mary Tillman.
Okay,
It's on the very bottom, and it's a
Oh, yeah, on the bottom.
magnifying glass.
Yep, I see it.
oh, excuse me, thank you. I didn't realize it was at the bottom on
Yeah,
the
'cause it's at the top. Okay.
Apple.
So why are there so many of them? Like it says there's 2 of them on my tablet. Can you
Do
see?
they,
Can you tell?
Google Chrome. I can't read what it says underneath. Can you read it to me, what it says underneath Google Chrome?
It says the
I'm-
same thing, actually. Fast and secure web browser.
Mhm.
Both of them. I don't know. That's why I get confused when there's so many different ones.
And that is a thing, like sometimes someone will kind of make a knockoff product, right? Like buy a Louis Vuitton purse on the sidewalk. Like it looks like, but it's not the actual. So that's where you kind of have to be careful, because people do make things to kind of look like, but I can't
Okay.
I can't see, can you see in the reviews if there's anything that would indicate something different?
In the review.
Rebecca,
Yes, Ms. Rothman?
I don't know if this will help. But I think what I'm seeing is it says the fast and secure. Then there's like a little button that says get in blue, which I assume is what we would push. And underneath it, I think what's so confusing is they're showing you 3 different pictures of a phone. When first one on the left says autofill passwords and payment info. The second one in the middle says sync across your devices. The third one on the right of my screen says surf privately with incognito. So there we go with incognito. But I think they're just telling you about that one thing, because I only see one get button. So if the other folks are like mine, it's confusing because yeah, I thought at first it's 3 different choices, but I think you only get the one choice. I think they're just describing features, I think, because there's only one thing on my screen that says get. So and I don't get to choose. I just get to hit get. That's the button to download it.
Okay. You know what I see now underneath, there's a very small rectangular that says add on the first one. And then the pictures of the phones, I only have 2 instead of you had 3. So they're a little bit different. Okay.
Yeah.
One question, this Google Translate, is that something you can use? Like, I sometimes like to watch some of these YouTubes with these crochetings and they're in a different language. Is that what that would be for? Google Translate?
No, that would be more either like dictating to the device.
Oh,
and asking
okay.
just, or if you have text.
Okay.
Sometimes there's an option on YouTube to, well, I know there's like closed captioning at the bottom, and sometimes they'll have the translation in English in close, you know, that sort of closed captioning at the bottom.
I don't know. Okay, I'll have to look.
Would you know what I'm talking about, closed captioning?
Yeah.
Right. So on the bottom right-hand side of the actual video on YouTube, there'll sometimes be offered at CC.
Okay, I'll have to look.
Yeah, when you look next time you go on there and see if you might be able to, you know, if they have that feature on there. Not every video does.
Okay, I have another question. I don't know if it has to do with these apps or not. Online and offline. Is that a whole new different subject? That seeing different things online and offline, or is that just towards email?
So if your device can work on and offline, if you want to access anything on the internet, you'll have to be online. But you can, like, if you have a subscription to a particular service and you download some content to your device, a movie, a video, you know, some other video, a book, various things, music, then if you download it, you can still access it even if you're offline. And you may want to do that because particularly like with a video, a movie, it uses a lot of data to stream that. So if you're online and you have a limited data plan, you can really eat up a lot of your data. But if you download it and then, you know, watch it while you're offline, then you don't have to use the data. Usually while you have a service, I'll be right with you, Ms. Solomon, you have access to that content as long as you're paying your monthly fee. For example, if you have a Spotify account, you pay your 10 or 11 bucks every month, and you have access to all the library of music and podcasts. I can download that to my device and I can listen to it offline. But if I cancel my subscription, anything that was downloaded to my device, I will no longer have access to. So generally it's a subscription service and you still have to. If you get material from the library through their digital offerings, I know like through the county library, they have a app called Hoopla that provides the movies.
Is that
And
what it is?
Huh?
I didn't know what that was, the hoopla, yeah.
Hoopla, yes. And then you'll be able to keep that for 3 days.
Oh,
So even if you download it, it will automatically disappear right after the 3 days. So, Ms. Salomon?
I'm going to be leaving, but I wanted to ask you to send to me the link for week 1 for mobile devices.
For mobile, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. I want to shift gears for Android in case if anyone wants to run through that for downloading a device. And I want to apologize. I have put up the wrong wording. It seems that the iPhone is get, not install. So apologize.
No
But
problem.
let's go back for Android. And now I used the example of Google Chrome for the previous because everyone who has an iPhone or an iPad, it's not gonna come with the Google apps. So, and since we're using that, I definitely wanted to make sure that everyone knew how to download that. Android is probably came with Google Chrome on it. So this is just a sort of random app that I chose. If you want to use something else, if you want to look for a different app, be my guest. I love this app and I think that people may find some usefulness from it. It's called PlantNet and it's kind of cool. You can use, when you take a picture with your phone of some plant that you see somewhere or that you see a picture of on the internet, you can also access it that way. But if you don't know the name of whatever that plant is, PlantNet will sort of run the image through its database and it'll come back with results. And then you can kind of check and see which one looks the most like the picture that you put in or the plant that you're looking at. I don't know, I enjoy it. And so the process is very, very similar. This time, instead of going to the Apple Store, we're going to go to the Google Play Store. So it's this icon, that little sort of triangle with the 4 colors. And in the search bar there, you'll put in the app of your choice. Again, my example here is PlantNet. Many things will probably pop up, but you would select PlantNet, the one you want, and then you're going to click install. That'll take time to download, a couple little minute or so there. And then once it's downloaded, then you'll click open. And it should appear on the screen. Any questions on that one?
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm good. Mel, how are you?
Pretty good. I had a question.
Good.
Some seniors was asking me, is there a way they can get a free computer through the Department of Aging?
We have a second sort of phase of CPA Connects that's coming up.
Okay.
Where we have a laptop giveaway. We're getting 30 devices that have been refurbished devices for distribution. There's a few guidelines
Okay.
that you have to meet that, but I'd be happy to put you on the list to get the application. They're still developing that application, but it is coming very soon.
Okay.
Are
So
there
appreciate it. Please give me a call.
Mel, do you want me to, so I'll send it all to you at, is Fingers, that email, is
Yeah.
that the best one? Okay. All right.
are refurbished computers, phones, you think they're good? Any opinions on it?
I think that they're fine. I think that getting a free device, as they say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? I would not personally buy a refurbished device. I just personally wouldn't do it just because I just feel like I want to avoid problems. But I know that people do it all the time, and it's a way to get something a little bit cheaper.
Mhm.
I just personally wouldn't do it. That's just me. Carolyn, any thoughts, please?
I've bought refurbished stuff before.
Okay.
I think they're fine. I would say it depends who you buy them from. So kind of like if you buy a used car, you want to look for that certified pre-owned.
Mhm.
There's similar kind of things you can look for a refurbished computer or smartphone or whatever. So buying through like a reputable company, like
Talk about like Apple, directly through Apple.
yeah, I think that would be fine.
And they do give you that 1-year warranty with it, they say.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I'd be a little more apt if you bought an iPhone through Apple that was refurbished. I would definitely add on the Apple Care. It's kind of like buying a warranty for a used car. Like it's just kind of that extra safety net.
Maybe you need it, maybe not.
Right. So I mean, insurance industry, it is just a big, big expense that you have to have it. And if you end up needing it, you're very glad you have it. But if you don't end up using it, it's kind of like, great, I spent all this money on what? But yeah, I think refurbished is fine as long as you go through a reputable company. So Apple, Best Buy, Micro Center. There's a cool site called Woot, WOOT. And I forget if Amazon owns them now or they got bought out by someone. But anyways, I bought refurbished through Woot. It's fine. I just would be a little bit more weary on like eBay or Craigslist because you really don't know where it's coming from then,
Mhm. Okay, yeah, I need to learn more how to use these things. That's why I'm questioning it, because there is a big difference, a few $100s in price wise. And since I'm so used to just Apple products, I don't know if I can get used to a non-Apple.
And I have a question. If you are getting rid of your computer, what process do you have to go through to get rid of everything off of it? Is there an easy way?
Yeah, you can put your device back to factory settings, it's called. And you would do that trick we talked about yesterday. How do I blank on my blank? Do you remember that? So how do I go back to factory settings on my, whatever that device is? You
Yeah.
should definitely do that. You want to if you're going to give something away, you know, a lot of times there'll be those little, you might see a drop container for cell phones that sometimes they'll give to like domestic violence shelters, things like that, to help someone who is in a tight place and, you know, would really be welcoming a device of some kind. But you want to make sure that all of your personal information is off of there before you give it to anybody else, right?
Then you can go back on and check it and make sure it's gone, or
yeah, you would just then you could reopen it, and then you'll see like if it has your, you know, your stuff, your password or anything like that. Going back to factory settings should like wipe everything off. But you'll also want to make sure that you get everything off of there that you want to keep. So
Right.
if you need to email files to yourself or get some kind of external memory device, that could be an SD card or a jump drive or an external hard drive, depending on, you know, but you want to make sure that you transfer if there's images that you have on there that you want to save, or some other type of file that you've created that you want to still have access to.
thousands of photos. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that sounds like, what kind of device are you talking about with that?
Gosh, I don't. We have too many devices around here. I don't know which one. I forget what that one is.
Is it like
The main computer.
I'm sorry, what kind?
The main computer.
That one you're probably going to use a jump drive or an external hard drive to get.
Probably get our son to help us, but I just want to know in my head what has to be done. So if there's stuff I could be getting ready when we're going to do this, not going to be anytime soon, but okay.
And, you know, you guys, I don't know if I've been clear in mentioning this, so I want to take just a moment to say it now. We do offer a more personalized one-on-one, and I'm not saying this to say like, don't ask your questions in class, because I certainly welcome them. But if it's something that like I can't resolve in this session, or that I just don't know about, which there's plenty of that, we offer tech assistance one-on-one through the agency. So I can put a referral in, and you be contacted. There are some people who are comfortable coming in to homes if you're comfortable. So that's an option, just to remember.
And where do you find that out at?
I would put the referral in. That's just like through this CPA Connects class. Normally it would go through Marilyn Hahn, is our volunteer coordinator at Community Partnership on Aging. And she kind of, before I came along, she kind of handled that. It was an existing service through CPA.
Okay, so you just call CPA and ask them about it. That's what you're saying. I don't want to do it now. I think
you
right.
could.
They are very good. We had them a couple years ago and got us set up with our program. It was very good.
I wish I would have known. I had no idea they had any of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a positive experience. But I can also put it through if you decide, like, so the idea with it for us was like, you know, if something comes up and I see that I'm not able to resolve it in the course of the class, then I can put that referral through. And if you are requesting it, like, I'd be happy to put it through too, or you could contact CPA yourself. Sure.
Okay.
Just
good to know.
Yeah, FYI.
If you live in a community that all feeds into the community partnership, most of the cities have newsletters that come out once a quarter, and they usually have quite a bit of information about the community partnership.
Well, that's how I found out about this one.
Right.
I've only recently been looking into it.
Or talk to your senior what's the word I want? Senior program coordinator. Usually they have information for it.
Goodbye, Miss Fine. We are at 3:04. Please, anyone that needs to get going, please feel free to make your next move. Does anyone have another question?
Oh, no.
Attempt to answer.
Now I have a question, but I'm back. Sorry about that. Somebody called me and cut me out fast. But that's the correct email address.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mel, I got, bye, take care, Mr. Reiser. I apologize. Tell me again what I was sending you.
Oh, information
I'm
about the
sorry.
refurbished computers, for the application for the computers.
Thank you. I
You're welcome.
got as far as writing your name and down and notating that it was the Fingers email, and then I think somebody else started talking to me and I didn't finish making the
Yeah.
notation. Apologize.
Yeah, phone call came in and cut me completely out.
Okay. Got it. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anything else?
So are we going to do working on the cloud?
That is going to be one of our once a month offerings, like the one that's
Ah.
today for Canva, but I'll let you take that, Carolyn.
Yeah, I actually have it scheduled for April 22nd at 4 p.m. That's the fourth Thursday. So the fourth Thursday of the month, every month I have a special topic presentation. So the one for April is the 22nd at 4 p.m.
I think my cousin's coming in from out of town on the 21st.
We'll record it, so you'll be able to watch it later. It's actually my fiance's the one giving the presentation. He's an IT guy, and so he's very well versed in all things technology, so it should be good.
So do I sign up for it, or you just?
Yeah, I can send out the link. So it's a separate Zoom meeting.
Okay, I'd like that.
Yeah. So
That's the one that starts today, right?
yeah, so I'm giving today's presentation at 4, and it's on Canva, which is a graphic design.
Oh,
But
okay.
Ms.
Well,
Dustin, you can register for it, the same way that you registered for this, going to the CPA, the Community Partnership on Aging website. And then when you go to that, it's sort of the third one down as you scroll down the screen for plugged in programming. And then it talks about what we're offering here with CPA Connects. And then you click on that link, you'll see it, you'll read it.
I think I just made the phone call. That's how I found. I saw it and I made the phone call. I didn't know there's a separate website. Okay.
The easy way. We all do it. We all do it.
I'm gonna put it in the chat right now, the link to register.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
The only problem is I have my grandkids here every Thursday, so they got a little hairy there earlier.
It was all
Sure.
right.
You're pretty good considering a whole hour.
Yeah.
All right, so it
Okay.
is in the chat.
She just popped that in there. If you click on that, that'll open a new browser tab.
Click on where?
Do you see it in the chat?
No, oh, I didn't look in the chat. Okay.
Open up the chat.
Yep, I see it. Just click on it.
Click on the blue link.
Ah. Okay. I see meeting registrations. No, that's not it.
I'm going.
Okay. Bye. Take care, Miss Davis. So
Thank you. See you later.
Okay, I see the different dates and times. TBA, to be told. Is that what TBA is? Okay,
to be
I gotcha.
So once you register for one of the advanced presentations,
Uh-huh.
then you're registered kind of for all of them.
Okay, good.
And then Carolyn sends out the reminder the day of with the fresh link.
And it's always on a Thursday, huh?
That fourth Thursday. Now, sometimes the time might be different. Is that right, Carolyn?
So far, it's been at 4 o'clock. It depends on the presenter's availability. But
Okay.
yeah, right now it's fourth Thursday at 4. But I mean, we'll record them too. So if you're not able to make it, you'll be able to watch it later.
Yeah, I actually found it the other day. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to be busy for the next few weeks, so I don't want to get into this. Is enough for me. What, a little at a time. Too much is not too good. But thank you. I enjoyed this. Thanks.
Good. All right. Well, everyone take
Okay.
care. Have a great afternoon. Perhaps we'll see you back at 4 o'clock.